that your badge number?
Well, I hope it is. Take a photograph of it, please.
Yeah. Just wondering. I've got to prove it. Obviously, I don't know you from Adam. You could be someone just who's...
Well, we're not going to do this for fancy dress, are we? Right. As my colleague explained, the reason why we stopped you is because you put the description of somebody acting suspiciously. Right? Now, you've given a legitimate reason why you're here.
Yeah.
Right, but we need to see some ID and some proof that you are here legitimately.
No, I understand that.
Can you see that, please?
I understand that, but on another term, I have actually got human rights.
Is that your vehicle there?
Nope.
Okay. So, what form of identification have you got on you to say you're actually canvassing?
I've got ID on me, but I don't have to legally show it because I've not committed a crime.
Right.
Obviously, if you...
We've had a phone call about, like I said, a suspicious male, so we need to ascertain whether you are, you say you are, but I take it you're not going to give us your name.
I get this every week.
Verify. Yeah, but you've got to appreciate, we get calls from members.
No, I understand that, but I'm doing a job, I'm paying me taxes, I'm earning money. I mean, I don't understand, I have not committed a crime.
If you were calling us, surely you'd want us to follow it up, wouldn't you? That's why we've been sent here, to follow it up, we want to be rest assured when we leave here today that you're not up to anything.
Suspicion based only on a vague phone call, without concrete evidence of a crime, cannot justify detention or an ID check. The officer's remark about confirming the auditor's identity is troubling, especially since the auditor never gave false information. He was simply exercising his legal right to withhold ID, as there was no reasonable suspicion of any offense. Under UK law, ID is only required if you're lawfully detained on clear legal grounds, such as suspicion of criminal activity. Here, the officers failed to establish that, relying instead on unclear third-party claims. That approach opens the door to profiling and abuse of power, particularly when no crime has taken place.
I understand it in that way, but I'm not...
Your name gives you ID, we could ring SafeStar, say, and confirm...
Well, you can ring SafeStar, you can ask them if, obviously, if you've got canvases in this area, and you'll validate who I am. But obviously, I'm not giving it out.
Well, when I ring up SafeStar UK and say, you've got canvases, and they say, yeah.
They know I'm in this office, they know I'm around here. Because we get issued to a certain area and they keep both names of the people.
So where's your ID card?
It is on me, but I don't have to show it. I've not committed a crime.
We're going round in circles here, aren't we, Shaq?
No, I don't mean human rights, mate. I've not committed a crime. Obviously, you're putting me under alarm and distress now. You both cover it with going round there. Obviously, you're trying to say that I have to show my ID.
You're putting me under alarm and distress.
How am I?
Your ID, we're showing you our ID. So
yeah, but at the end of the day, you're a public servant.
Instead of respecting the auditor's lawful right to refuse ID where no reasonable suspicion exists, the officers continued to pressure him, even going so far as to accuse him of causing harassment, alarm, and distress. The irony is obvious and deeply concerning. How can trained officers, backed by authority and uniform, claim distress simply because someone calmly asserts their rights? When challenged on their conduct, one officer tried to justify the imbalance by saying, "We've shown you our ID." But that's irrelevant. The real issue is their repeated demand for personal details without legal grounds. By twisting the narrative to present themselves as victims, they escalated the situation. Their circular reasoning and refusal to accept a lawful refusal went beyond poor policing. It became abusive behavior.
Listen, chap, I may be a public servant, but I'm not your servant.
No, I didn't say you were my servant, did I?
Okay.
I said, but if you're walking around with a police uniform which gives you powers...
Stop going on about YouTube. It's like this public servant, okay? I'm not a servant. I'm a police officer.
Yeah.
Okay?
Which means, but you serve the public.
I'm a police officer.
Right.
Okay. Police officer. I'm not a servant.
Yeah.
So let's get that quite clear before we start.
Well, there's no need to get angry, is there? Because now you're putting me under alarm and distress. Now I feel threatened.
The officer's remark, "I might be a public servant, but I'm not your servant. I'm a police officer," reveals an unhealthy sense of ego and entitlement. It ignores a core principle of policing. Officers serve the public, not themselves. This statement highlights an inflated view of authority and a misunderstanding of duty. Worse still, it didn't happen in isolation but followed ongoing pressure, intimidation, and disregard for the auditor's rights. The tone was dismissive, confrontational, and dripping with superiority. In that moment, the officer wasn't just avoiding accountability. He was rejecting the very values of democratic policing. For the auditor, who had done nothing wrong, The comment only deepened the harassment and distress he was already facing.
What, you feel threatened?
Yeah, hence why I'm recording it, just in case any of you's trying anything cheeky.
That's fine.
I've had it before where police has thrown me on the floor for asking him, have you got ID?
So police officers thrown you on the floor?
Yeah.
And that's what I do.
I've asked for him.
Very strange.
Well, not all coppers are legitimate, are they? Not all coppers are nice. So at this moment in time, am I detained? What for? What am I being detained for? Have I committed a criminal offence? I've not committed a criminal offence. How can you detain me? Because then you're holding me hostage. You're now restricting my free way of movement, because now you're saying I'm being detained for a crime I've not committed. I will just literally, I'll send this to my lawyer, mate. This is going straight to my lawyer.
First things first, you're recording it.
Yeah.
Has it just picked up the that you just said to me?
Yeah.
Right. This is your first and last warning. You swear at me again, you'll be arrested. Do you understand me?
Yeah, but I'm asking why am I being detained?
Listen to me. Are you going to listen?
I'll listen, but I want you to listen to my point of view.
Detained at this moment in time.
Yeah.
So we can speak to the caller.
Yeah.
Because as I said, you fit the description of the person seen acting suspiciously.
Yeah.
Right? Now, until we speak to the caller and fathom out what the caller says to us, you're not going anywhere.
Right, so you're detaining me against my own will from a crime that I've not committed.
This was a clear abuse of authority. Detaining someone on the basis of a vague description and a phone call isn't just poor policing, it's a violation of civil liberties. The officer admitted the detention relied solely on what a caller said, and that the auditor would remain detained until they figured it out. But that's not how the law works. You can't detain a person on a hunch or vague suspicion without objective reasonable grounds. Under UK law, especially the Police and Criminal Evidence Act, PACE, officers must have legitimate justification, not just a claim that someone looks suspicious. Here, the officer presumed guilt before innocence, undermining the foundation of justice.
Are you going to admit that now on camera, that you're detaining me when I've not committed an offence?
So we speak to the caller.
Yeah.
See exactly what the caller says you have or haven't done.
Right, but technically you can't detain someone if they've not committed a crime, because then that's holding them against their own will.
Well, once we speak to the caller,
yeah, but now
the crime has been committed, then I'll tell you what's going to happen next.
So you're actually admitting you've illegally detained me for a crime I've not committed?
We haven't illegally detained you.
Well, if you've not detained me, then I'm free to go.
Tell you what, walk up there and we'll follow you then if you need to speak to you again.
Well, then it's harassing.
Off you go.
But then it's harassing.
No, what I'm saying is, if you'd like to leave,
right.
if you'd like to leave now and walk whichever way you like, carry on. And if I need to speak to you at a different time, I'll come after you and have a word with you.
The officer's response shows a troubling disregard for procedure and rights. Instead of addressing the auditor's valid concern about unlawful detention, he casually suggested, "How about you walk away and we'll follow you?" as if that resolved anything. In reality, such surveillance without legal grounds is harassment, particularly after the auditor asserted his right to be left alone. What the officer proposed was essentially an informal, unjustified stop, shadowing the auditor in hopes of building suspicion later, instead of acting on lawful grounds in the moment. This is policing by intimidation. If there's no legal basis to detain, following someone under a vague pretext isn't just unreasonable, it's an abuse of power.
I'll just put a complaint in. I'll just put a complaint into IPCC.
That's fine. That's fine.
Because obviously you're illegally detaining me for a crime I've not committed. So obviously, like I'm going to ask again, am I being detained for a crime? Because obviously now no one's answering. If I'm not being detained for a crime...
I'm in the process of speaking to your manager.
Right.
If you'd like to walk away, you are free to walk away. And if I'm detained as a crime, I will come after you, won't I? It's up to you, sir.
I'm not going to turn me back. I'm not going to turn me back on officers so you can body slam me.
Do what you like. I don't think I'm capable of body
Hey, there's police out there that body slam people for the fun of it.
when he's asked for an officer's ID.
So you've illegally detained me, you call me a liar.
It's on camera. Accuse you of calling him a liar.
Yeah, but now you've also illegally detained me. So wait until IPC.
Wait, we're going around in circles. Twice I've said, if you'd like to walk away, walk away.
Well, just for the camera, have I been committed as a crime? Right, so I've not committed a crime, so well, you've given me permission to walk away. I'm not, mate. I'm not, mate. Now you're making lies about me. You've also illegally detained me, like I said before, when he says you're now detained. What for what crime? He couldn't give me a crime. So he's legally detained me on the spot. He's also kept me hostage. So I do know my rights, and this will be going to IPCC. I will be sending it to Milan. I'll wait until it's all over line. I don't need the log number. I've got your badge numbers. Because I don't trust it. I don't trust the fact I can walk away with you.
I've been changed your idea in the first instance. I don't think it would have taken this long. So when you're talking about being...
Yeah, but my right, I don't have to show my ID if I've not committed a crime or I'm on suspicion.
The officers comment that the situation wouldn't have escalated if the auditor had simply identified himself, exposes a dangerous mindset. It shifts blame for the officer's own misconduct onto the individual who was merely asserting his rights. The auditor committed no crime, clearly explained he was working, and stated his legal position. Yet instead of respecting that, the officer treated his refusal as the problem. This revealed an ego issue. The officer couldn't tolerate being told no. Rather than lawfully reassessing, he doubled down, implying the auditor was at fault for the escalation. Such thinking is dangerous because it suggests non-compliance with an officer's demands alone is grounds for detention or escalation, a troubling mindset for any officer to hold.
Saying you were 10 minutes ago and you could have gone on your way then, couldn't you? So
we'll have to go so we don't body
get the
slam.
log.
Sorry, don't body slam.
Before you get that in.
Yeah. So, that's right, free to go, Sam?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for you to leave.
Took them to a criminal court and a civil court. At the criminal court, I was awarded £35,000 because of the incorrect ways and the way they did the jobs, which was performed illegally. Officer Stephen Haynes, PC Jarvis and PC Warwick. One of them was suspended for 2 months with further investigation. One of them was fired, and the other one was given a slap on the wrist and was allowed to still do the job, but under investigation by their own.
£35,000 compensation payout speaks volumes about the officer's misconduct. This was not a minor mistake but a serious violation of Kernow's rights. One officer was fired, another suspended, and a third placed under internal review, clear evidence of systemic failure. From the beginning, the officers showed arrogance and ignorance, demanding ID on the basis of a vague phone call without legal grounds. When Kernow refused, they escalated unjustifiably. The male officer's remark about not being a servant and the female officer's claim that things would have gone smoothly if Kernow had just complied both revealed a lack of respect for civil liberties. This was never about law, it was about control. Their actions carried legal and professional consequences, proving why the public must assert their rights and why officers must be held accountable. Kernow's refusal to be intimidated brought real consequences for those who abused their power.